Chuck. He's just, Colangelo is just mentioning Michael Cohen, and he says that you will learn, and we will be very upfront about the fact that Michael Cohen, like other witnesses in this trial, has made mistakes in his past.
Yeah, not just mistakes, Jose. I mean, Michael Cohen is a criminal, and Michael Cohen is a liar. But the government didn't select Michael Cohen as a witness. Donald Trump did. And they're kind of stuck with him. You know, not to be too cute, but if all of my witnesses at all of my trials could have been nuns and librarians, that would have been wonderful. But that's not who you find committing crimes, by and large. And so Michael Cohen is there because Donald Trump had confidence in him that he could use Cohen to make a hush money payment. Hush money payments aren't unlawful in and of themselves. But it was because of those payments that Trump ended up directing that his books and records be doctored. So, yeah, these are the witnesses you get in trials. You know, it's interesting to me, Jose, if this trial in some ways is unique because it's a former president as a defendant. And in other ways, it's extraordinarily ordinary, right? These are how openings are done. This is how evidence is adduced. This is how and why witnesses are called. You could walk into any courtroom in America and hear a judge charge the jury with these sort of instructions before they hear opening statements. And then you would hear these sort of opening statements, and you would see these sorts of witnesses in almost any criminal trial. What's different here? Donald Trump is the defendant.
Joining us now is former U.S. Attorney and MSNBC legal analyst Barbara McQuade. And Barbara, they're obviously trying to just get ahead of potential credibility questions around Michael Cohen, and Colangelo specifically saying Cohen's testimony will be backed up by other witnesses you will hear from, including David Pecker and Keith Davidson. He says it will be backed up by emails, text messages, phone logs, business documents, and it will be backed up by Donald Trump's own words on tape, in social media posts, in his own books, and in videos of his own speeches. And he goes on to say, there will be no doubt Donald Trump is guilty of falsifying business records. As you consider all of the evidence the people will present, we ask you to use your common sense. Just your thoughts about the opening statements and what we've learned from the prosecution so far, what jurors are taking in.
Well, one thing that I thought Matthew Colangelo, the lawyer delivering the opening statement for the prosecution, did that I thought was very effective is the first words out of his mouth. This case is about. That is so important for the framing of a case. And what he said is not that case is about falsified business records. He said this case is about a conspiracy to corrupt the 2016 presidential election. And then he goes on to describe not one, but three schemes that they tried to kill. The Stormy Daniels story, the Karen McDougal story, and the story of a doorman, that there was a meeting between Donald Trump and Michael Cohen and David Pecker on August 15th to discuss all of the ways that they would work together to hide and conceal from the public these disparaging stories that would affect the outcome of the 2016 election. And they went on red alert when the Access Hollywood tape came out. And so the falsification of the business records is really just a means to the end of corrupting the 2016 election. And I think that is not only what makes this a crime, it makes it a felony, and it also brings great jury appeal from ignoring this as some trivial mistake on business records and instead a much larger scheme to corrupt that election.
Hey, everyone. MSNBC has a new and improved app. You'll get real-time alerts and analysis, live blogs, in-depth essays, video highlights, and the best 2024 election coverage. Download the new MSNBC app. Here's how to do it. You tap on the App Store on your phone. You hit search on the bottom right corner. You type in MSNBC. You click on the MSNBC app. You click on Get or the cloud icon and enjoy it.